We're at the Vortex, just outside of St. George up near Gunlock. Sometimes it's referred to as the Bowl, but most people call it the Vortex. And we haven't been here yet, but it looks interesting, so we're going to go check it out. So on this particular trip, it's myself and my sister, Danae. Appreciate her coming along and doing a lot of GoPro footage while I focused on photography and some drone footage as well. This first part of the hike, this is just really close to the parking area, but you're going to drop down into this ravine that you can see from the parking area. You're going to cross that ravine and come up the other side and then start hiking across this long white sandstone flat area. Relatively flat hike, the first portion, other than a few little ups and downs. Most of the hike is on sandstone, and there are some sections of really soft, loose sand. So prepare your footwear accordingly. Also keep in mind that Utah gets pretty hot certain times of the year. Probably don't want to do this hike wearing flip-flops. That sand gets really hot, so keep that in mind as well. Along the way, you'll see a lot of cactus, different types of cactus, and if there's a couple of days out of the year where the cactus will be in bloom with these beautiful red flowers. Unfortunately, I think we're a little bit early. A couple years ago, we did a hike up outside of St. George called Yant Flat. Some people call it the Candy Cliffs, and we were lucky enough to be there when the cactus was in bloom, and it was really something cool to see. All right, this next little section right here, this is something to keep an eye out for when you're hiking. You're going to be heading towards this this kind of pink-colored rock or mountain, and there's like a gap, mountain on the left, the big mountain in front of you on the right, and you got to go through that gap. This trail is it's really not marked very well, in my opinion. Part of that's twofold. One, you're going a lot on sandstone, so there's really no good area for them to put markers. And in this general area, they really kind of discourage from setting up like cairns, those little rock cairns that people like to make as trail markers. They discourage you from doing that. In fact, some areas around here, I think it might even be illegal. But anyway, it's not really well marked. So what I would recommend doing is be sure that you download the All Trails map or Google Maps. Go ahead and download the location. Before you head out there. There's not cellular coverage out there, so you won't have internet. You won't be able to download the map when you get out there. Be sure you do it ahead of time.
Is there water?
Yeah. Of course, you're out in the desert, so there's not a lot of rain, but when it does rain, a lot of these little sandstone pockets fill up with water and gives the wildlife somewhere to catch a little drink. This footage right here, the trail up to the Vortex is on the left of this mountain right below us, and you're just going to follow along that sandstone area. This is that sandstone area we were just looking down on from that aerial footage, and it's just kind of a long, gradual climb. Nothing too hard. Really interesting rock structure. If you look up in the distance, you see those knobs up on top of the hill. That's ultimately where you're going to end up, is up near there, just to the left of those knobs. This is looking back down the direction we just came. Okay, if you look up ahead, those two white knobs on top of the mountaintop there, just to the left of it is the Vortex. You can kind of see the outline of it right now. Hiking up to it, we're going to stay down low to the left, and we're going to actually go around the little, past the Vortex on the left, and then you circle back and come back to the Vortex. It's the easiest way to get up. It's probably the safest way to get up. I did see some people scrambling other routes that looked like they didn't really bring the map with them, so they were just trying to figure it out as they went, and some of them got into some little sketchy areas. Some of them had younger kids. I strongly encourage you to download the map before you come out here and follow the All Trails map or the Google map. At this point, we've reached the ridge, the top of the ridge, just past the Vortex, and we're doing the U-turn so that we can circle back over to the Vortex now that we're up on the ridge. We're going to go up this little ledge right here.
Is that where we go?
And from this point, it's about, I'd say, a couple hundred yards up ahead, just walking along the ridge.
We good?
So that out in front of me, that's pretty much right on the other side of that hill. You're going to drop right into the Vortex. There's some interesting plant life growing up on top of the ridge here in the middle of these little sand pockets, which in the springtime especially, you can see some kind of interesting stuff. This little pit is right next to the Vortex. In fact, as we're looking down, the first pit that you see is the Vortex. The second one, right up above it, is one that we were just seeing in that photo. It's not as deep. Still a little bit interesting, though.
We made it to the Vortex. Woo woo!
Don't mind me, folks. I just like to be an idiot out in public. I'm pretty good at it. By the way, folks, if you look at the mountain at the top of the screen there, the black one in the distance, that looks like a volcano. Well, that is an inactive ancient volcano. There's quite a few of them around St. George in this area. Now, on the day that we came out here, there wasn't any water in the Vortex. If you come right after it's rained, it'll fill up with water like a giant hot tub or swimming pool. And I think that's how it got its name, because when it has water in it, it literally will look like a black hole or vortexing black hole. It's really interesting looking when it has water in it. Now, the nice thing about when you go and there's not water in it, you can actually climb down in it and run around inside.
Okay. I have good shoes on. I have my hiking shoes. If not, I'll shimmy down on my butt. Woohoo! He did it! He did it! Okay, let me... Got Danae heading down into the Vortex. It was actually easier getting out than it was getting in, but you do have to kind of run up to that ledge.
And you do have to run around the vortex. Just don't trip and fall. Good job. Yeah.
And we got lucky in terms of having the place all to ourselves. There was one guy that was leaving right as we got there. We went early in the morning. By the time we were leaving, though, a flood of people were coming in, and the whole way back to the car on the trail, it was just one group after the next heading up. We spent a little bit of time, obviously, in the vortex, but we really like these little like knobs. They're like giant warts on top of the ridge that are real close to where the vortex is. In fact, in this next shot, you'll get a better idea of where they're at in relationship to the vortex. But they're kind of interesting and fun to hike around, climb around. Really thought the color transition from white to pink to orange in that area was interesting. So those are the nubs I'm talking about, and the vortex is right below us. Just went past it. You can see some kids down below that were lost and trying to hike right up the face, and we're not having success. It's pretty steep. Again, recommend just following the path. There's a reason the path was laid out the way it was. Always find it so interesting that you can have green grass growing out of the middle of rock, out of sandstone in this area. All right, you're about to witness a sad moment for me. I'm just taking photos of my sister Danae and got my drone in an automated loop. And right about now, you'll see panic on my face as I realize it's not high enough and it's about to crash. I try to grab the controller and push it up, but I am too late. It has crashed into that bush up on this ledge. I can't climb up to it. You can see me hanging over the top there trying to poke it out with a long stick that I found. This guy, Mark Rogers, random stranger, saw me working and came and helped. And together we got it out, but unfortunately it fell pretty hard and far and broke. So this is the final footage. The drone is no more.